A lot of them just don't know, really. They know some kind of way, but they're not able to articulate how it's really the power structure. You know, the avaricious, greedy businessman and the demagogic power.
The Black Panther Party's style and dramatic actions captured the attention of the media. Yet the Panthers often disagreed with the way they were portrayed.
The Examiner made a report back here in the last Sunday's paper that we were anti-white, that we hold no bones, this is a quote, pick no bones about being anti-white. This is a bold-faced lie. We don't hate nobody because of their color. We hate oppression. We hate murder of black people in our communities. We hate the gross unemployment that exists in our communities. We hate black men being taken off into the military service to be fighting for racist, decadent American prominence as freedom.
To present their story and their program for social change, the Black Panthers created a national newspaper. Language and art were important tools of the new party.
I knew that images had to be changed. I know sociologically that words, the power of the words stigmatize people, and we felt that the police needed a label other than that fear image that they carried in the community. So we used the pig as a rather low-lifted animal in order to identify the police.
The real thing is you understand the psychology of the cops. They are the ones who really couldn't stand to be in there. That's why they create that kind of thing. You see what I mean? They are the ones who really couldn't stand to be in there. See, when you're revolutionary, you don't, they can't break your spirit that way. They're always putting cats in the hole, always brutalizing them, beating them. But anyway, they put me in this hole. I woke up.
What did it look like, the hole?
Well, I woke up, the holes are 7 by 7. No, 7 by 5, about 5 feet wide and 7 feet long. It's just a box. There's no bed in there. You have no blankets in there. You have no toilet. You don't even have a toilet in there. All you got is a hole in the floor. It's a box. 7 feet long, 5 feet wide box. The hole has got a hole in the floor. It's just a flat hole, you know, you floor and it's just a hole. 7 feet long, 5 feet wide box.
So what'd you do to keep yourself fit or to keep yourself sane when you're in there?
Oh, and the hole is declared unconstitutional by the United States Supreme Court, but they still use it. They lie and say they don't, but they do. They're always putting cats in the hole, always brutalizing them, beating them, you know.
So, hey, one thing, they Friday 13 off on your birthday, so how about that? Friday 13 off on your birthday, so what? Think about what it was like when you were in the hole.
It's their minds, if they're scared of that hole, you see. They're the ones who could never take it. And once you understand that their psychology, deep down inside, they can say everything they want to say, but them cops are really scared of that hole. That's why they create something that they fear, you see what I mean? Which makes them hate. It's a basis of hate and false fears that they have. So they create the most detrimental things. That's the basis of hate. You see how you can describe their hate, you see. It's impossible to survive in the hole, but them cops are really scared of that hole. It's impossible to survive in the hole. You're supposed to break your spirit, you know what I mean? See, when you're revolutionary, you don't, they can't break your spirit that way.
So, where did you just come from now, down the hall?
Well, they just brought me out of my, the cell they keep me in. That it's a cell that I'm isolated, you know, from all the other prisoners in the jail.
Yeah.
And I've been in there reading the papers, this morning's papers. And just before that, I was out to see my lawyer about the local superior court they got it so operating that they just almost threw the habeas corpus aside, you know, so we could at least, always a habeas corpus for a hearing, you know, concerning this extradition that Regan and called itself making.
We missed the food part. What did you have for lunch today in jail?
I have some more of that soup. You have it's just a thing of soup, you know. Some days it's what they call potato soup. And some days it's what they call, it's a kind of greenish looking marsh or split pea soup.
What they feed it to you in?
Well, you have a metal pan, like, almost, and it's about an inch in depth, you know, and about 5 inches in diameter, the bowl part of it. And,
so that's what you have to
that and bread, yeah.
And you eat that usually every day?
I don't eat it all the time. I throw it in the toilet. What I do is they have a commissary here where you have money on the books. You know, people leave you money.
Yeah.
Where you can buy cigarettes, where you can also buy milk. I buy a quart of milk. I have a coal. And
you have a coal now?
Yeah, I have a coal. And, well, it's going away a little bit, but they have little cartons of orange juice you can buy. So I want that vitamin C, you know, to keep buying. So I buy a couple of those and a quart of milk. And then they have, you can buy some candy, you know, and your cigarettes. And then they have some crackers, Ritz crackers, cheese kind or something that they don't sell out there on the market, I guess, much. And they set them up here. And I bought a box of those, you know, and sometime I'll eat them off. There's peanuts. They have a little package, 5 package of peanuts. And instead of eating that soup, I generally throw it in the toilet. The soup and bread.
You just eat the crackers?
Yeah, instead of eating the soup and bread, I eat the crackers and drink some milk. Sometime I might take 2 or 3 spoons of the soup.
What about Los Fietes? You can't see any other prisoners, can you?
No, only time I see them cats, man, is when they lawyer. Well, their lawyer is my lawyer. They, you know, I call them out, but one of the lawyers working along with Gary as a crew will call them out, and they pass by my cell.
Anybody. You see any of the other prisoners where you are?
Yeah, I can see when they pass by my cell. Or when they come down to take a shower. They might have shower day like tomorrow, see, on Saturday. And they'll come down, and the process of them taking that quick 5-minute shower. See, this shower cell is kind of like next to my cell, but it's to my left. I really can't see in the shower. But as they come and get ready to go in, they say, "Power, Bobby, you know, what's happening, brother?" I say, "Right on, you know. Mr. Ramos, you know, we will win." And we be talking about a lot of things, man. We talking about the fact that got to raise defense funds and things like that, you know. And the fact that the people struggle out there in the streets, what's happening, you know, and we got to organize the people and let the people organize around the programs and unify around these programs, you know. Breakfast for children, free health clinic, all of it.
You think the prisoners in there understand, you know, that most of them hip to what you're talking about?
I think a lot of them are not motivated. I think a lot of them just don't know. Really, they know some kind of way, but they're not able to articulate how it's really the power structure. You know, the avaricious, greedy businessmen and the demagogic power. They're not hip.
How do you know this?
How do I know?
Yeah. I mean, how does it make itself evident?
It makes itself evident that you can distinguish between 2 different kinds of prisoners, you know. You can distinguish the kind of prisoner who has some political thinking.
How do you do that? When you first come into the cell block, when you walk on there, how do you know which prisoners have a political consciousness and which are the other ones?
Some of them, a lot of them ask me, "Brother, what's going on?" They just don't know. You know, they know me, they heard about me, you know, they heard about the party, you know, they heard about Huey and all of us, you know, contributing together. And they just outright asked you, you know, what's going on, you see. A lot of them.
Do they yell it down the halls, or do they?
Well, they might pass by the cell, or they're waiting to come out this little gate to come out and see their lawyer. They might be there about 2 or 3 minutes, you know. I rap to them, you know, stuff like that. They ask me questions. Then there's brothers that know a lot of what's happening, you know. And he comes right on in, you know. He be talking about what Regan did and what you think about that. And he just, you know, relating his knowledge. We trade knowledge, like, you know. And he's talking about the fact that the budget for welfare in the state is lower than the budget for prisons, you know. These brothers know this.
These cats know all this information?
Yeah, man, these cats, some cats know this stuff, man. The fact that the budget for welfare in the state is lower than the budget for prisons, relating his knowledge. We trade knowledge, like, you know. And he's talking about the fact that the budget for welfare in the state is lower than the budget for prisons, you know. These brothers know this.
These cats know all this information?
Yeah, man, these cats, some cats know this stuff, man. Relating his knowledge. We trade knowledge, like, you know. Some cats know this stuff, man. It's, you know, and it's very important stuff. Regan, you know, directly and indirectly, man. Regan, you know, directly and indirectly, man. However, all the rejects, man, these cats are hip. Some cats know this stuff, man. How the rejects on the adult authority, the cats are rejects, man. Mad Dog, Madden, the ex-policemen, ex-DAs, you know, they kind of rejects, you know. They ain't got, and they run the prison system, man.
They're rejects from where?
Rejects in terms of not being the best educated to run the prisons, or not being the best educated in society. You see what I mean? How the rejects on the adult authority, the cats are rejects, man. Mad Dog, Madden, the ex-policemen, ex-DAs, you know, they kind of rejects, you know, and they run the prison system, man.
They're rejects from where?
Rejects in terms of not being the best educated to run the prisons, or not being the best educated in society. You see what I mean?
To think about what it was like when you were in the hole.
Well, I have to tell you how it started. You see, this guard gave me, or let me have, Black Panther Party paper.
Yeah, there you go.
After Gary had requested, you know, him to let me have it. And I took the paper. Gary had told the guard that he wanted me to read over 3 or 4 articles because he wanted me to make some notes on them and stuff like that, and some of my statements and everything. He said because he felt that in a couple of future cases that the DA was going to try to turn the meaning of them around, so he wanted to get them down now, you know. And I took the paper. God let me have it. It was one night when my lawyer come up to see me. And next day, or 2 days later, I think, I was in visiting, and so I come back from visiting. Visiting was over for that Sunday. That's what it was. And the cat told me, he says, Seale, you ain't supposed to have that Black Panther Party paper now. I said, wait a minute, man. I say, it's another guard, you know. I say, you just investigate. I say, one of the guys let me have the paper, you know. That's contraband. I said, oh, man, wait a minute. I say, if a guard gave it to me, I said, he gave it to me after requesting my lawyer to make some notes for some legal matters, you know. That don't make no difference. I said, no, wait a minute. I said, you're supposed to investigate, you know what I mean? And what you doing with the Jet magazine? I said, what Jet magazine, you know? So we found a Jet mag. I said, no. I said, you ain't found no Jet mag. He said, we got it. I said, look, man, I said, all these cats is running around here. They're going to visits and stuff like this here. I said, the cats probably threw the Jet magazine. I said, because they always giving me something. They always throwing something in here, you know. And he says, well, that's contraband. I said, well, man, I say, that's one thing. I say, but as far as the paper go, he said, well, you're going to get your visit taken. I said, no, wait a minute, man. I said, you got to investigate. And he says, no. He says, we don't have to do nothing. I said, well, then if you don't investigate, I said, that means you violate my rights by taking my visits away. I said, so if you don't investigate, you're a bunch of low-life, scurvy, reprobated pigs. I said, and I don't go for it. And that's the way I feel about it. And so, well, you can't call us a pig. We'll take visits away from you from next week and next week just for that. I say pig 1,000 times, pig 1,000,000 times. As long as you violate my constitutional rights or my rights to my visit, any kind of human rights I got, I say just because you won't investigate, I say you can solve the stuff. I say I consider you a pig until you do. And so they didn't like it. And cats started arguing with me, talking with me. I had some cups in there. There's an extra cup in my cell. You see, and the cat with the food wagon, so they feed you in your cell. He went around out on D block, on A block. He come in on D block. He happened to went around out on A block instead of coming back out and picking up my cup. Because see, I'm outside of the lockup for D block. You see, I'm in an isolated cell away from everybody. See, what are you doing with these cups in your cell? This cup here in your cell. What you gonna do? Write something for your lawyer? I look at this dude. I say, look, man. I say, how can you be so stupid to ask such an unintelligible question as that as to be supposedly writing something for a lawyer with a damn cup? I said, now how can you be that stupid, man? I said, I'm more intelligent than that. I said, I want you to investigate about whether or not I got contraband in my cell and because that officer gets. I said, here you come ask some stupid, unintelligible. I said, that's just the way you pigs think. You know what I mean? I said, you don't want to believe me. I said, but if you go check it out, you'll find out that the cat actually let me have the Black Panther Party paper. And so, boom, the next morning, man, they come to take me to the hole. And so, looks up there, 10 of them there, crowded all around in front of me. I said, all right, Seale, you're moving cells. I said, moving cells? I said, oh, I said, okay. I said, let me get my property. Oh, no, that's all right, John. I said, wait a minute. I said, if I'm moving cells, I said, I want my envelopes and my property and my candy and my cigarettes and everything and my legal stuff here. So I started picking it up. No. So there's one cat. I'll take care of that. I said, no. I said, in other words, I said, you're taking me to the hole, ain't you? I say, that's what you're doing, talking about I'm moving cells. I say, I'm still taking my property, so I snatched my property up. I say, I'm definitely taking my legal stuff. So I come on out of the cell, I said, let's go. Walked on around here and went on down there. We got down there, so they say, all right, give us all your stuff. I said, you don't get my legal stuff. I said, you don't get none of my legal papers. I said, because by constitutional right, I said, I got a right. Any person accused and held in jail got a right to keep all things related to his legal defense with him. I said, you know that. You can't have that. No, I said, yeah, I'm going to keep it. I said, the only way you're going to get it from me is take it from me. I said, because I'm keeping my legal stuff. So I said, you can have all this other stuff. I said, you can put that away. I said, but my legal papers I keep with me. So I said, let's go to the hole. So I started walking towards the hole. And so they all jumped in. They all kind of, excuse me, they jumped in front of me, you know what I mean? And so you got to give me, I said, you know, I ain't going to give you my legal papers. I said, I got a right to have my legal papers. So I started to walk towards the hole again. And all them cats grabbed me simultaneously. Legs, hands, and everything. And right around the neck and started choking me and pulling me to the ground. We was wrestling there for a while. And then this cat started hitting me in the testes. This one cat who talked about, don't worry about your stuff, you know, let's just go, you know, when you get ready to put me in the hole. And man, I was passing out, you know, and the cat was choking me, man. And he hit me 4 times, man. And I remember the last time as I was just going on out, you know. That pissed me off, you know. And I had a TV interview, and he was standing back out there listening. And I saw him listening. I said, I don't know if they even showed it on TV, I said, but they say they put me in the hole for calling him a pig. I said, well, the punk, the bastard who put me in the hole and hit me in the balls, in the testes, I said, I still consider him a low-life, scurvy, reprobated pig. I don't even know if they put that on TV or not, but that's the way I felt about it, and that's exactly what he is. That's what he is. This badge 41 of the sheriff's department, you see? And I got his badge number and everything, you see? The fool, you know. And I just wanted to print it in the paper so all the people in the community can know who the pig is, you know. But anyway, they put me in this hole. I woke up.
What did it look like, the hole?
Well, I woke up, the holes are 7 by 7. No, 7 by 5, about 5 feet wide and 7 feet long. It's just a box. There's no bed in there. You have no blankets in there. You have no toilet. You don't even have a toilet in there. All you got is a hole in the floor. It's a box. The holes are 7 by 7. No, 7 by 5, about 5 feet wide and 7 feet long. It's just a box. There's no bed in there. You have no blankets in there. You have no toilet. You don't even have a toilet in there. All you got is a hole in the floor. It's a box. Well, they strangled me to my damn throat. You know, I'm still hoarse now from that very strangling. I'm thinking about suing. Well, I was choked. After I was choked, and I just woke up. I was in the hole, you know, and they threw some. You don't have nothing on. You don't have no underwear on, no socks, no shoes, and they give you a shirt, but the shirt is raggedy. The stuff they got in, they got you clothes with holes in. But a lot of cats ain't even in the hole got raggedy stuff on in here, you know. But I woke up in the hole, so my throat, man, I was hoarse, and you know what shocked me the most when I came to, I couldn't utter a word. That's how bad they choked me. And I already had a tonsillitis problem, see. And they choked me. They wouldn't even let me go see, I wanted to get the doctor, you know, to go through my throat. Dr. Fine, my own private doctor, or Dr. Carlton Goodlett, one of the two of them. But they wouldn't let me go see. But anyway, these cats was sitting there, and they were standing there in front of me. They was getting ready to close the door. I couldn't utter a word. I tried to say something. And that shocked me. I thought I wasn't going to be able to speak no more, man. That blew my mind. Pissed me off. Talking about mad. And finally, after about 10 minutes in there, I said, and one of the cats came back and asked me, did I want some water? I said, yeah, I want some water. You know. And I got some water in my throat. And then I was real hoarse, like, you know, that's how my throat was the first day. And it swelled up, and I started running a temperature. You know, that tonsillitis stuff. So
how did you go to the bathroom in the hole? You just had that.
Well, in the hole, man. This is that hole is declared unconstitutional by the United States Supreme Court, but they still use it. They lie and say they don't, but they do. They're always putting cats in the hole, always brutalizing them, beating them. You know, like the other night. Well, you know the cat Raymond Scott. No. You heard of Raymond Scott? He supposedly killed all them people. Is accused of it at least.
Oh, down on Market Street.
The black cat, yeah, man. Show you how he's rotten, man. One of these black cats in there, these black guards. He tried to go in on Raymond Scott, man, and brutalize the cat. messing with him, you know. And then,
what did he do?
man, he went and called a bunch of other guards, man, and went in there and they jumped on him, man. About 9 or 10 of them beat the cat, man. Beat him unconscious. In this jail. Now the man, Gary, he's a friend of Charles Gary's too, who killed his 3 daughters. It don't bother him, see. Nobody bothers him, you know.
He's a friend of Charles Gary?
Yeah, he know all the lawyers in town. He know all the people in the government around here. You know, he's a clerk, the kid who killed his 3 children. You know, I guess he needs some mental help, you know. And so, you know what they'll do? They will probably send Raymond Scott, who probably needs some mental help, to the gas chamber with the white man. You see what I mean? They'll send him to a mental institution. You see what I'm talking about? Back to the hole, man. 7 feet long, 5 feet wide box. The hole has got a hole in the floor. It's just a flat hole, you know, you floor and there's just a hole. And one of the things about it, they had the thing stopped up. They don't flush, you can't flush it from inside. You flush this flushed from outside by somebody else. The thing was stopped up. So I was in there about half an hour or so, and it flushed. But it was stopped up, and defecation and urine and toilet paper and crap come all back up in the floor. And I'm standing in 2 inches of water now, with defecation and everything, you know. So I watched this little porthole, you know, got thick glass on it, you know, you can see through it like so. So I'm watching and see if somebody passing. Every once in a while I try to bang on this door, but it's almost soundproof, you know. People can hear you kind of banging on it, but not much. Tell you dudes this damn thing is stopped up in here, you know. And, you know, and fall apart. And the cats knew it was stopped up. They knew it, you know. And not till late that night, man, when the shift had changed, you see what I mean? One of the guards that got some human sense. In fact, they'd given me some food in a plate and through the little porthole. You see, what the water recedes, flushes up and it sits there for an hour. You know, it takes an hour for it to recede back down and they flush it back up.
So where were you all the time?
Every hour and a half. Yeah, I was in the middle of the crap, you know, until the stuff receded and I could sit back on the floor possibly. You know, I couldn't stand up all that time, you know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, were you hanging up on the bars and stuff trying to...
There's no bars. It's a box. It's a box. It's a box. There's no hole. It's a door, a big, thick door, a big, thick steel door, you know. And it's a cold floor. You have to sleep on the cold floor. You don't have no bed in the hole. It's not a... It's a 7 feet long, 5 feet wide box.
I mean, were you hanging up on the bars and stuff trying to...
There's no bars. It's a box. It's a box. There's no bars. It's a box. 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 There's no hole. It's a door, a big, thick door, a big, thick steel door, you know. And it's a cold floor. You have to sleep on the cold floor. You don't have no bed in the hole. It's not a... It's a 7 feet long, 5 feet wide box. 7 feet long, 5 feet wide box.
So what'd you do to keep yourself fit or to keep yourself sane when you're in there?
Oh, in the hole?
Yeah.
You see, this is where you beat the cats. See, when you're revolutionary, you don't, you know, they can't break your spirit that way. The real thing is you understand the psychology of the cops. They are the ones who really couldn't stand to be in there. The real thing is you understand the psychology of the cops. They are the ones who really couldn't stand to be in there. That's why they create that kind of thing. You see what I mean? They are the ones who really couldn't stand to be in there. Anyway, my food came in there. They gave us some food in there. And what it was is the way they got that thing turned off, unstopped that plug in that hole. And me, I was sitting and stuff is, on the night shift, after they come back around to pick up the thing, I wouldn't hand the plate back out the porthole, you see. And they opened the door, and I'm over here in the corner, you know, and my plate is sitting there and all this water, defecation and crap all over the floor. I look and I say, nah, is this you cat's hole? You know. And so he said, come on out of there. So they cleaned it up and unflushed the thing and got the thing all cleaned out. But it's their minds, if they're scared of that hole, you see, they're the ones who could never take it, you see. But Huey one time, the way Huey figured out these cats' psychic, was telling me about how he figured their psych out. When he was in jail a long time ago, way before the party started, they put him in the hole because he led a strike in jail for better food, you know. And what they did, they stuck you in the hole and they give you a cup of green marsh and mesh, you know, and 2 pieces of bread or something twice a day. And so when they first come around there, Huey said, I'm not going to eat this crap, you know, or Because I was striking upstairs for better food in the first place. What I looked like eating this crap you kept sitting out here in the first place. So Huey threw it back out. For 2 days, Huey wouldn't eat. But it so happened the shift changed, and a night shift cat changed. And the cat who came on night shift happened to be a brother who knew me and Huey very well, you know, at Mary College, you know. And this cat saw Huey down there and asked Huey, was he hungry? Well, he didn't even ask him whether he was hungry. What it was, he just went and got some bologna and cheese sandwiches, you know, and brought them down and gave them to Huey at night. And every night he'd come on, so, and it blew their minds. When Huey come out, they come out the next day with their green marsh, Huey would be doing push-ups, you know. You know, and they didn't know how this cat did that for 10 days, and it blew these cats' minds, you know. How could he do it? You know, it's just impossible, you know. Well, Huey reversed the understanding of their thinking. The first thing is a basic fear. It's impossible to survive in the whole. Well, Huey reversed the understanding of their thinking. The first thing is a basic fear. It's impossible to survive in the whole. You're supposed to break your spirit, you know what I mean? And once you understand that their psychology, deep down inside, they can say everything they want to say, but them cops are really scared of that hole. That's why they create something that they fear. You see what I mean? Which makes them hate. It's a basis of hate and false fears that they have. So they create the most detrimental things. That's the basis of hate. You see how you can describe their hate, you see. The real thing is you understand the psychology of the cops. They are the ones who really couldn't stand to be in there. That's why they create that kind of thing. You see what I mean? They are the ones who really couldn't stand to be in there. See, when you're revolutionary, you don't, you know, they can't break your spirit that way.